This is the network service of the NTA. Good morning, welcome to Vanessa 10 on NTA News 24. I am Musbal and Wahab.
And I'm Comfort Amadou. The headlines.
Presidency reacts to video of kidnapped aid workers, reiterates commitment to securing the freedom of all those in captivity.
Benue and Nasarawa states set to chart new course for peace and development.
And on rising cases of abuse in schools, FCT administration sounds notes of warning to principals in Abuja.
That these allegations are being made is bad enough.
Now we've got the details of the news for you. The two-day presidential policy retreat aimed at charting the nation's course for next 4 years has ended with some key proposals towards achieving a better Nigeria.
And President Muhammadu Buhari, who declared the session closed, is optimistic of a prosperous Nigeria that will significantly impact on the livelihood of the nation's majority. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
For the past 2 days, participants, including key players in both public and private sectors of the nation's economy, as well as development partners, exchanged ideas and practical experiences towards achieving a better Nigeria.
From the presentations, discussions, and exchanges, I could clearly see the patriotism and commitment you all have for this country. This gives me hope that we will surely leave a better Nigeria for future generations to come.
After examining several case studies on how different countries successfully addressed various issues confronting them, the participants came to the conclusion that as Nigerians benchmark the country against other nations, they must not lose sight of the laws, regulations, geography, culture, history, and many other critical factors. This, without doubt, confirmed President Buhari's position that what the nation needs are made in Nigeria solutions for uniquely Nigerian problems. Consequently, the experts proposed various strategic initiatives for consideration by the federal government over the next 4 years.
Stimulate significant investments in the industrialization of agriculture. Introduce policies and regulatory changes that will unlock growth potentials in the petroleum sector. Facilitate construction of mass and affordable housing to propel economic growth and reduce the massive housing deficit. Launch of a consumer credit scheme with the banking sector for citizens to have access to long-term and affordable mortgages and consumer credits. Address our security challenges by working in collaboration with the private sector. Fix power sector by addressing some of the regulatory uncertainties and operational shortcomings of the key players.
President Buhari said the proposals will be discussed and finalized in the coming weeks as new ministers now being screened by the National Assembly take on their portfolios.
Our collective goal is to implement initiatives that will lift our citizens out of poverty through mass employment and social safety nets. We must all keep in mind that a successful economy is one where prosperity is felt by the majority.
The president promised sustained partnership with the critical stakeholders in the nation's journey towards creating a desirable future for the people. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Still coming from the State House, the presidency has been briefed by the responsible government agency about the disturbing video showing the humanitarian aid workers held captive. A statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says presidency has been given assurances that contact is being maintained with the captors. Similar engagement, it says, is also being made on Leah Sharibo, a religious leader, and all others in captivity. What this latest incident has done, it says, is to bring urgency to the effort that the Secret Service is making, just as government is making contact, in the hope that the captors will see reason not to visit hardship or even harm the innocent individuals.
And President Muhammadu Buhari departs Abuja Friday for Monrovia, Liberia, to attend the 172nd Independence Anniversary celebrations of the country. Statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says that apart from being the special guest of honor at the event, President Buhari will receive the Grand Candon of the Knighthood of Venerable Order of the Pioneers, Republic of Liberia's highest national honor. The award is presented by the government for outstanding and distinguished service in international affairs, government, religion, arts, science, or commerce, and also for singular acts of philanthropy and needs of heroism and valor. President Buhari will be accompanied by Governors Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak Kwara, and May Mala Buni of Yobe State, as well as the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Mustafa Suleiman, and other top government officials. The president is expected back in the country same day.
Away from the presidency, the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee has distributed a total of 722,597 million naira, including VAT and exchange gains, to the 3 tiers of government as revenue allocation accrued for the month of June. Chimobi Water Nigeria report that a distributable statutory revenue for the month of June is 652,949 million naira. This is higher than the over 571 billion naira received in the month of May by 81 billion naira. The report shows that revenues from petroleum profit tax and companies' income tax increased significantly, while value-added tax increased marginally. Royalties, imports, and excise duties decreased considerably in the month of June.
Of cost of collection, 7% to Nigeria Customs, 4% to Federal Inland Revenue Service, and 4% to DPR. And there is also a deduction by way of transfer to excess crude account of 35 billion. There is also refund, 2018 refund to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, giving a net statutory allocation or figure of 595 billion, 376 million naira.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says it is time for Nigerians in the diaspora to inject their knowledge, expertise and investment into the search for solutions to the nation's development challenges. He was speaking at the 2019 Diaspora Day celebration in Abuja. Correspondent Makut Simon Macha was there.
It's a day annually set aside to reflect on Nigerians in the diaspora and their contributions to national development. Although they may be facing some challenges in their host countries around the world, they are not deterred in giving back to Nigeria as they discuss the power of the Nigerian diaspora for national development.
We want the nation, Nigerian nation, to give us opportunity to give back to our country.
We believe that the diaspora have a lot to offer when it comes to their investment, not only financially, but also their investment of their ideas.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, welcomes their patriotism and assures them that the government will work with them.
The Nigerian diaspora, being at the cutting edge of technology and appropriately exposed at the international business community level, are the right connectors to propel this initiative.
Chairman of the Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, emphasizes unity among all Nigerian diaspora groups and affiliations.
As Nigerians in the diaspora, you are our #1 ambassadors. As we move on, let us make sure that that green passport becomes the toast of the world, not just the toast of Africa.
The diasporans say the time to walk the talk is now, when Nigeria needs all the expertise and foreign investment available. In Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Now to the National Assembly, where the Senate on Thursday screened additional 14 ministerial nominees. Those screened on the day 2 include Senator Tayo Alasho Adura from Ondo, Mustafa Babashihuri Borno, Abubakar Aliyu Yobe, Bashir Magashi Kano State, Timi Presiva Bayelsa, and Ramatu Tijani Kogi State. Others include Richard Adeni Adebayo Ekiti, Zubairu Dada Niger State, Chris Ngige Anambra, Mohammed Abdullahi Nasarawa Sunday Dare Oyo, Musa Bello Adamawa, Sadia Umar Farouk from Zamfara, and Zainab Hamid from Kaduna State. The nominees were drilled on their expected contributions to reforming the oil sector, improving security, and other critical areas of the economy. In all, the Senate has now screened 24 nominees.
And Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila has announced names of chairmen and deputies of standing committees of the 9th House of Representatives.
And now with this constitution of the committees, the House is now well positioned to effectively carry out its legislative functions. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim has details of these and other resolutions of the House at Thursday's plenary.
Public Accounts. Chairman, Honorable Wale Oke, deputized by Honorable Abdul Kadir Abdullahi. Air Force, Honorable Shehu Koko, to be deputized by Honorable Abbas Adigun. Army, Abdul Razak Namdas, to be deputized by Tajuddin Adefisoye.
The announcement of the names now will put to rest all speculations on the matter. At plenary, the House commended the gallantry of the Nigerian military in the fight against insurgency, but regretted various attacks on soldiers resulting in loss of lives and property, and urged the service chiefs to intensify their efforts towards eliminating the scourge.
Urged the Committee on Appropriation, when constituted, to adequately make provisions for the armed forces so that they can fight insurgency.
On the increasing incidence of SIM swap fraud, the House resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to conduct investigative hearing on the matter, with a view to determining ways of collaboration between banks and telecommunications operators in devising measures of combating the menace, and report back in 6 weeks.
Kaspersky Lab research shows that mobile payments are suffering a wave of attack through SIM swap fraud, and customers are losing colossal amount of money in the process.
Meanwhile, the House in the Committee of the Whole approved the recommendations by the ad hoc committee on the review of its standing orders, but rescinded recommendations by the ad hoc committee on ethics and privileges to sanction Brad Gogo from Rivers State, following acceptance of his apologies for having acted contrary to the House rules.
We accept Honorable Gogo's apology, rescind our earlier decision, and expunge it from our records. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it.
Plenary was adjourned till the 17th of September 2019. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Still in the House, the House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Appropriations, when constituted, to ensure increased funding for the armed forces to enable them recruit more personnel into the military and update their equipment. In a motion of urgent public importance by Representative Uchechukwu Nnam Obi from Rivers State on the need to address the ambushing and killings of troops by Boko Haram, the lawmakers commended the military's gallantry and urged the service chiefs to intensify efforts towards the fight against terrorism. In another motion of urgent public importance, the House resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the land dispute between the FCT inhabitants and the Nigerian Army and report back in 1 week for further legislative action. This is part of the Senate's effort to commence investigation on the matter as soon as possible to address security threats and imminent breakdown of law and order in the Federal Capital Territory. The motion was brought before the House by Representative Micah Johanna Jiba, representing the FCT.
You're still watching the news at 10 on the network service of the NTA.
More report after the break. Don't go away.
Do you want to own your own home?
Do you want to learn about new building techniques and building materials?
Do you want to expand your business, or do you need new investment opportunities?
Are you looking for land for your projects?
Do you have houses to sell? Are you looking for finance or mortgage for your house?
Or do you need new partners?
This is a major opportunity for you to sell, build or buy houses.
Come meet with housing estate developers at the Abuja Investment Expo for housing construction and investment.
Organized by Shelter Aid Organization in partnership with the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Date 30th July to 1st August 2019.
Venue, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, International Trade and Convention Center, beside ShopRite, Airport Road, Abuja.
For more inquiries, please call 080-331-41875 or 080-954-92959 or email us at shelteraidlimited@yahoo.com or visit our website www.abujainvestmentexpo.com.
Abuja Investment Expo 2019.
Don't miss this experience.
Thanks for staying tuned with us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. And now to business. The federal government implores small business owners to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement through improved value addition on locally sourced products. Let's join our business desk for more details on this and other stories. Nigerian micro, small and medium enterprises are ready to harness the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement entered into by the Nigerian government through improved value addition on locally sourced products. This was disclosed by key players and business regulatory agencies in Abuja during a business engagement and products fair in Abuja to sensitize small business owners on the gains of entrepreneurship and the need to take advantage of the present administration's effort to open up the business environment within the country.
We are hoping to expose them. We're hoping to expose them to the world of business beyond home business, beyond office business, beyond actually selling to just friends and family.
I have invested time, I have invested resources. I always try to learn new techniques, buy new equipment that will make my work stand out.
If you look at it, we cannot individually have a factory. Bringing up small industry, small businesses, enterprises. By the time you put it all together, we are making it a larger event.
Items on display were varieties of products from textiles to cosmetics and catering services. And the CBN says it is restricting banks from accessing treasury bills to enable the bank lend to the private sector. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, who made this known at the MPC meeting in Abuja, said the restriction is to stimulate growth in the economy.
We all must work together as Nigerians to do everything that is possible to grow this economy. And the central bank, in conjunction with the deposit money banks, who are at the monetary side of policy in this country, must be seen to play this role.
Next is the closing figures of trades on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State and his Nasarawa State counterpart Abdullahi Sule have pledged their commitment to pursue peace and development between the two states.
This was the focus of the meeting when Governor Sule led top government functionaries and traditional rulers on a courtesy call on Governor Ortom at Government House, Makurdi. Correspondent Bem Hanya reports.
Crises between communities on the borders of Benue and Nasarawa states have over the time led to the loss of lives, destruction of property and displacement of many people. It is against this backdrop that the meeting between the two governors became necessary. Governor Abdullahi Sule said development cannot exist in an atmosphere of insecurity that has been the fate of the two states in the past few years. He commended the people of the two states for the relative peace at the moment and pledged his determination to sustain the tempo.
So I come, sir, Your Excellency, to ensure that we go and work together as we have been, to unite and become one and the same as we have been.
Governor Samuel Ortom said the people of Benue and Nasarawa belong to the old Benue Plateau state, stressing that the creation of states is for administrative convenience and should not divide the people. Governor Ortom appreciated the efforts of the federal government in deploying Operation Wellstroke, which has dealt with the criminal elements who are terrorizing the state.
Honestly, to commend all our security agencies, you have done so well, both from Benue and Nasarawa State. Some of your members have paid supreme prices.
Governor Abdullahi Sule was inaugurated for the first time on May 29th this year, while Governor Samuel Ortom was inaugurated for his second term on the same date. In Makurdi, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
Moving on, the Nigerian Air Force has rewarded the aircraftman Bashir Umar, who recovered 37,000 euros in Kano Hatch Camp Market and handed it over to the right owner.
That's quite impressive. So how was that act of honesty rewarded? Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was at the headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force, where a brief ceremony was held in honor of the personnel.
From an aircraftman, Bashir Umar, who was enlisted in 2016, has been promoted to a corporal, a rank that would have taken him about 10 years to attain. The aircraftman, now a corporal, deployed to the Mobile Air Defense Team, attached to the Aminu Kano International Airport, was on routine patrol when he stumbled on the money concealed in a parcel at the Hajj camp.
Very proud to say that
the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, who commended the gesture, stressed that the act of honesty and integrity demonstrated by the personnel are values often projected in the Nigerian Air Force.
I am very proud to say that we have found Bashir to be a very rare non-commissioned officer. He has displayed uncommon qualities. And I'm sure we are very excited also that Bashir will go down in history, in Nigerian Air Force 55 years history, to be the only non-commissioned officer that was given the opportunity to have an aircraft detailed to go and pick him.
It is on me not to take anything that does not belong to me.
37,000 euros is about 50 million naira and represents about 20 years' salary of an aircraftman in the Nigerian Air Force. From the headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
That's indeed a good one. Honest people still exist, you know.
Yeah, we have them in large supply in Nigeria, and it's a good one that this officer has displayed that these are the things we like to see in Nigerians.
We hope for more honest people like this.
It's a signal that Nigeria indeed will be great.
Of course. And moving on, the Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Mohammed Babandede, has taken the migrant e-registration and new e-passport campaign to Delta State. During the 3-day working visit, the immigration boss engaged the Delta State Governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, the Asaba of Asaba, Professor Chike Edozie, and the Olu of Warri Ikenwali I, emphasizing the roles of traditional rulers in ensuring peace, security, and orderliness in communities for effective governance.
To inform His Excellency, the reform immigration is undergoing.
which directly affects state government. First reform we are carrying is e-passport, which is linked to national identity.
Things can work in this country if we strive to make them work. Obviously, there are challenges along the line, but somebody has to start something, and I believe that the information you passed to us concerning the e-passport, trying to tie down with the national identity number is something very innovative, something that we think can really help us in national security.
The royal father, who sees the reforms as timely, notes that it will checkmate irregular entry into the country and activities of clandestine foreigners who might be within the Nigerian shore.
Election time. So you should identity card again. I hope you take cognizance of that fact. A valid identity card must have an expiration date.
Babandede also inaugurated projects in Asaba and Sapele.
So, talking security matters, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete-Ibas, has called on navies in the West African sub-region to develop a common network that would facilitate greater integration for seamless information sharing across the region. Vice Admiral Ibas gave the charge at the opening ceremony of the 60th anniversary of the Ghana Navy. In a statement signed by Commodore Suleiman Dahun, Admiral Ibas emphasized that it would equally be expedient for member countries to reduce the bureaucracy required to share information, train personnel in common official language used by member nations, as well as develop and share data regarding convicted offenders of maritime crimes. These measures, it posited, will greatly enhance maritime operations and the collective desire to rid the Gulf of Guinea of criminality within the shortest possible time.
And against the backdrop of the recent violent protests embarked upon by members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, the Abuja Municipal Area Council administration has alerted traditional leaders in the council to be vigilant and report promptly strange movements within their domain. This was at a security meeting held in Abuja. Habiba Oladipo has the details.
That story will come in our subsequent bulletins. Now, a coalition of northern clerics under the Arewa Pastors Non-Denominational Initiative for Peace have called on Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) leadership to refrain from making sensitive and inflammatory comments which may be misconstrued by some persons and as such feel division amongst Nigerians.
National chairman of the group, Bishop John Abu Richard, said this at a press conference on the state of the nation. Doyin Dia reports.
Bishop John Abu Richard expressed concern on the role being played by some prominent persons in the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN), which he said are capable of instigating citizens against one another. The cleric noted that God in his magnificence has created the country Nigeria as a multi-ethnic and religious society.
National security issues that could set the entire country on fire.
It therefore cautions such individuals who take advantage of developments in the country to misinterpret the good intention of government.
Fulani is not a religion, it's a tribe. As I'm talking to you, I have our northern Borno State coordinator of Arewa Pastors. He's Reverend Dr. Aliyu Buba. He is a Fulani man and he's the president of Fulani Christian Association of Nigeria. So why trying to now, proscribe a tribe to be Muslim when there are Christians among Fulani, there are Muslims, So that is why we say we can't keep quiet. We need to sensitize the country and let the country know that.
The Arewa Pastors Non-Denomination Initiative for Peace is a pan-northern vanguard of Christians and clerics from the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory. In Abuja, Doyin Dia, NT News.
You're still on to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Time for a short break. More news afterwards.
Don't go away.